Roy Jones Jr., often emulated, often praised. But Roy Jones Jr. is yet another boxer who wasn't appreciated by American boxing fans in his prime. Although Roy Jones is nothing like the fighters that we see of today, Roy Jones was extremely competitive in his time, but yet and still, his skill set and where you should honestly judge and put him while he was at the height of his career was always under scrutiny.
Would you do this against a formidable opponent?
Yeah.
Would you play basketball before against a formidable opponent?
Yeah, just give me one.
What was the point you're trying to prove? Would you tell us by playing basketball and fighting?
Well,
what point is there?
Well, it's like De La Hoya has Chavez, he has my friend Ike Quartet, he has Trinidad, he has a lot of people out there for opposition. I don't have anybody that the public demands to see me fight or that you guys really want to pay me enough to take a chance and go out there and fight. So I started creating challenges for myself. Basketball to prove that I can go play basketball, come out here, watch Smoking Main fight, then come and fight, prove something to myself. That anything I set my mind to, I can do. That gave me the urge to get up for this fight. Normally, I would have looked terrible against this guy because he's a durable guy. I would have ran out of things to do. My mind wouldn't have been sharp, and this would have been hard night for me.
All right, let's look to the future now. Tommy Hearns was here tonight. Are you getting ready to negotiate a fight with Tommy Hearns?
I think Tommy Hearns and Fred Levin and Harold Smith and them were trying to work something out for a fight. But if I beat Tommy Hearns, I really haven't did anything. If I injure Tommy Hearns, I'll make myself look bad. So I don't really know if I want to negotiate that fight. But I will like to fight somebody like Virgil Hill, or if y'all pay me some money, I'll fight Lou Del Valle. If y'all pay me the money, I'll fight whoever y'all want to see me fight. Just let's go sit down, do some talking. I really want to go ahead and fight Virgil while I feel like I can make the weight easy.
All right, thank you very much, Roy Jones. Back to you, Jim and George.
George, you know the business of boxing as well as or better than anybody. This is the highest paid non-heavyweight in the world, and he's complaining about how much money he makes for each of these fights. Does he have a point?
Yeah, I don't know. He should be happy to get paid for this business, especially tonight. He had a good fight, he looked good, but the opponent was not the best in the world. He got quality money, so he should be smiling all the way to the bank.
Would you say that to him if you had a private conversation with him, that he should get his mind off of his complaint about how much money he's getting for each fight?
Yeah, he should stop talking business, period, and concentrate on being a good middleweight and take fights.
Now you remember, oh, I love Roy Jones. Roy Jones, my favorite fighter. He's this, he's that. In his prime, he was always in question. Never thought he was good enough. Reluctant to give him pound for pound status. Yes, Mr. Roy Jones Jr. The one boxer that you could see a lot of boxers today have taken things from and switched around and used for themselves, and you can see his style in them. And remember their conversation about money. We'll double back on that.
Darius Michalczewski, the undefeated German, who says he is now willing to come to America to fight you. David Telesco, a new fighter, good puncher. And Steve Collins, the Irishman, who says he's ready to come out of retirement. Give us your thoughts on who you would like to fight in this year.
Well, Larry Merchant, to be honest, since we got to do it like this,
Okay.
you think about who I really am. I'm Roy Jones Jr. I don't give a care who they bring to me. You are welcome to come get you some. Whoever wants some can come get some. They know what to do. Call HBO, tell HBO what to tell them what you want to do. And y'all know Roy Jones Jr. bars none.
Thank you very much, Roy.
None.
Just a word
None.
before we depart from the ring. You know, we try to bring you the best fights possible, even though managers and promoters often go by the credo that they want to fight the easiest opponent for the most amount of money. Tonight we had a fight between a great fighter and a very marginal fighter because it was dictated by the WBC. And it turned out that in this fight at least, we brought you junk. Jim?
Now, as I told you before, Roy Jones Jr. was never appreciated in his prime. He was nothing but doubted and scrutinized. And if you do not believe me or you have amnesia, you can just look at the prototype fighter that's hated today. You have to look at Roy Jones simply as this. Roy Jones was the first Floyd Mayweather. He laid the blueprint for everything that Mayweather became. He just took it to a new level. He was one of the first fighters that was promoting his own stuff, that came out of the thumb of other promoters and stuff like that. He was running his own thing. He gotten and he dibbled and dabbled into music. He was going on shows and all that other stuff. And if you look at Floyd Mayweather, he followed that exact blueprint. Do you guys remember Filthy Rich Records? You know what I'm saying? He laid the exact blueprint that Mayweather followed. Mayweather just elevated. And look at what Roy Jones was at that time. He was his own boss. He was cocky. He was confident, and he was boisterous about it. These are all the things that today's fighter, if they was cocky, confident, boisterous, and all that stuff, is hated today. That's how you know back then the guy that Roy Jones was would be the fighter that's hated today. So you knew that he was hated back then, and he was not given his credit. Now, given the fact that you heard all of them complain about money, they only complained about money because Roy Jones Jr. was one of those fighters who was getting his lion's share. So, of course, money always comes into play, and now they want to talk about cash. But if you remember the conversation with Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant about Arturo Gatti and him fighting bums and money.
Talk about Gatti, and obviously the point has been made. He had a great life going here in Atlantic City, fighting opponents who were chosen partially because he was expected to beat them, who were chosen partially because he was expected to beat them, making $2 million per fight, and enjoying the extreme adoration of the crowd. Which is again here tonight. Why risk all that? Why risk all that? Why risk all that by fighting Pretty Boy Floyd?
Because it still makes dollars and cents.
Keep getting paid this $2 million to fight bums, which they were totally fine with. Did you see that? They were totally cool with it. See? Totally fine with it. But when it came to Roy Jones, Larry Merchant wanted him to fight this guy after this guy. Tell me if this story sounds familiar. He wanted to have to fight killer after killer, this guy after this guy. Roy Jones had to keep moving up, till eventually Roy Jones ended up in light heavyweight and all that other shit. Because he constantly had to prove himself, because in his prime, as much as they tried to use his name now, he was not appreciated. Just like every other Black American athlete before him, as far as boxing is concerned, unless they shucking and jiving like Adrian Broner or playing the villain like Floyd Mayweather, tickets will not be sold. They only see you in two kind of ways. A person to discredit or a person that is going to play the clown. You're either Broner or Mayweather in this game. Moral of the story.
I had a private conversation with him that he should get his mind off of his complaint about how much money he's getting for each fight.
Before we depart from the ring, you know, we try to bring you the best fights possible, even though managers and promoters often go by the credo that they want to fight the easiest opponent for the most amount of money.
He had a great life going here in Atlantic City, fighting opponents who were chosen partially because he was expected to beat them.
Just a word before we depart from the ring. You know, we try to bring you the best fights possible, even though managers and promoters often go by the credo that they want to fight the easiest opponent for the most amount of money.
Why risk all that by fighting Pretty Boy Floyd?
Because it still makes dollars and cents.
Yeah, he should stop talking business, period, and concentrate on being a good middleweight and take fights.